The most exclusive address on Earth doesn't have a foundation. It has 100 spinning wheels. You picture it, your own private luxury train, the ultimate toy that says you have finally arrived. But flip the page, and the ticket price turns out to be the cheapest thing about it. Most owners hemorrhage millions before a single passenger ever climbs aboard. Here is the trap. A luxury train can be the single worst asset you will ever love. And yet a handful of people make it pay, and the trick is not the train at all. So let us follow the money one carriage at a time and find out where it really goes. Picture this dining car right now. Bare, rusting steel, not a single panel in place. Before it can pour a drop of wine, someone has to buy the beast and bolt on the first panels. The auction opens, and the first lot is a locomotive that alone can swallow $3 million. But a bare engine hauls nothing worth boarding, so now you bid on the carriages themselves. There are 3 ways to acquire them: buy new build, lease refurbished, or restore genuine heritage carriages. You chase heritage because a 1920s Pullman carriage carries a story that fresh steel simply cannot buy. But restoring one heritage carriage to hotel grade can cost more than a suburban house, upward of $1 million each. Watch where that money physically lands, right here on the bare bones of your dining car. First, hand-cut mahogany paneling is bolted onto the steel, a bespoke fit-out that runs into 6 figures. Then chandeliers descend, silver is laid, and the car finally reads as a floating restaurant. Add locomotive, carriages, and fit-out, and one finished train can top $25 million before launch. The Belmond Royal Scotsman and Japan's 7 Stars in Kyushu each ran restorations into the tens of millions. You could argue this is a one-time hit. Pay it once, and the beast is finally yours. But ownership of the train buys you exactly one thing, and it is not the ground beneath it. You own the beast, yet you do not own a single meter of the track it needs. So who really controls those tracks, and what will they charge just to let you roll? That is next. You own the beast, but every meter of steel ahead belongs to someone else. To move at all, you must beg passage across a network of gatekeepers who set the toll. National rail operators own the lines, and they charge a track access fee for every kilometer you roll. In Britain, Network Rail collected roughly £2 billion in track access charges in a single year. You might think one luxury run is too small to notice, a rounding error on their books. But the fee formula punishes you, weighting heavy, slow, low-frequency trains far harder per journey. There are 4 costs at every gate: the access charge, path booking, station stops, and traction electricity. Path booking is the cruelest, because you rent a slot in a timetable you did not build. Cross a border, and it all resets. New operator, new currency, new bureaucracy demanding fresh paperwork. That is why routes through Switzerland, Italy, and France mean juggling several rail authorities at once. One industry report called Cross-Border Access charges the hidden tax that grounds private trains. So the ownership you paid $25 million for buys motion only when someone else grants permission. And the tracks are only the toll to get moving, not the cost of staying alive. Because the dining car is fully furnished now, and even standing still, it is quietly bleeding money. We said the tracks were only the toll. Now, meet the burn that never sleeps. Your day begins at 6, and so does the crew you are paying whether you roll or not. A single luxury service can need 40 staff, from butlers to a Michelin-trained head chef. You might cut the chef to save money, but a bad dinner ends a luxury brand overnight. 4 burns hit you every single day: crew wages, fuel, insurance, and secure storage. Fuel alone can drink over 1,000 liters of diesel on one long haul. Insurance on tens of millions in irreplaceable heritage stock runs into 6 figures a year. But the cruelest fact is this: your train mostly just sits, idle in a shed. Operators like Belmond may run a route only a handful of departures each month, so the beast bleeds hardest on the days it earns absolutely nothing at all. You could store it cheaply outdoors, but rust and damp attack that mahogany you just installed. And maintenance never stops, because every kilometer of vibration loosens something priceless somewhere. The dining car gleams, silver laid, wine poured, yet standing still, it quietly swallows thousands a day. But the real killer is not the burn. It is the part that fails and cannot be replaced. We said the burn never sleeps. Now the patient on the table starts flatlining. Your stock was built in the 1920s, and the factories that made its parts closed decades ago. When a single brake valve cracks, there is no shelf to pull a replacement from. You could machine a new one from scratch, but a bespoke part can cost tens of thousands. But the part is only half the wound, because that one carriage now grounds the entire train. One failed axle can cancel a whole season, and canceled departures refund guests who never board. 4 failures haunt every heritage owner: brakes, bogies, bespoke castings, and vanished electrical spares. The heritage rail sector calls this the parts cliff, where survival depends on cannibalizing other trains. You might insure against it, but underwriters flinch at machines that literally cannot be rebuilt. So the repair bills climb while the departures shrink, and the arithmetic quietly turns terminal. This is where most private owners crack, and here comes the moment they cross a line. Panels start coming off the dining car itself, unscrewed and sold, just to cover the bills. The very cars that ran themselves broke in Britain, Switzerland, and the American West all faced this reckoning. But the few who survived did something strange to that stripped car, and it changed everything next. We said the survivors did something strange to that stripped car. Here is the con. They stopped selling a train because nobody was ever really buying the steel. The real product was scarcity, and scarcity, it turns out, is the most expensive thing on Earth. You refit the bear car one last time, but now every panel is a revenue line. A single seat on a top service can run over $3,000 per night. That dwarfs a 5-star hotel suite, and here is why guests still line up to pay it. You are not selling a bed. You are selling a view that only 90 people on Earth will ever share. The Venice Simplon Orient Express sells suites for the price of a small car per trip. This exact scarcity trick fills trains in Scotland, South Africa's Rovos Rail, and Japan's Kyushu. But charging more per seat still cannot outrun a burn that never sleeps. So the survivors monetize the whole stage, not just the tickets bolted to it. There are 4 ways to truly cash the stage: private charter, brand licensing, film shoots, and legend itself. One buyer books the entire train, and suddenly every empty seat becomes pure profit. The chandeliers are lit, the wine is poured, and next, we finally run the numbers that work. We said the survivors monetize the whole stage. Now the model takes the stand to defend itself. First exhibit for the defense: chartering the whole train, where a single buyer books all 90 seats at once. One private charter can gross over $300,000 for a single multi-day run. You might object that charters are rare, but the prosecution forgets the 4 ways to truly cash the stage. Brand licensing lets the name earn while the train sleeps, on watches, luggage, and hotel suites. Film crews pay a fortune for that vanished era look, renting the carriages as a ready-made period set. Together, these fill the calendar, and the dining car becomes a full floating restaurant, packed every service. The Venice Simplon Orient Express reportedly turns real profit, proving the tiny elite market pays for a moving legend. This exact math works in Scotland, on South Africa's Rovos Rail, and across Japan's Kyushu Island. You could object that this is a rich person's hobby, not a real business defending itself. But the numbers now enter as evidence. With the stage fully monetized, revenue finally overtakes the burn. The panels stay bolted on now, the chandeliers lit, the silver laid, nothing unscrewed to cover a bill. So the model wins its case, the worst asset you will ever love finally paying its own way. But the verdict hides one last secret. because the winners were never really selling a train ride at all. Walk back through the finished dining car one last time and read what every panel truly cost. Every bolt on this wall lost money, and yet a handful of owners made the whole beast pay. Here is the secret hidden under the paint. The winners were never selling a train ride at all. They sold time, myth, and an experience that fewer than 90 people on Earth could ever share. That is why this asset survives while ordinary luxuries rust. Scarcity cannot be mass-produced. The same defensible logic runs the survivors in Scotland, South Africa's Rovos Rail, and Japan's Kyushu. One headline put it plainly: the Orient Express does not run a railway, it runs a legend. So, the worst asset you will ever love becomes the most defensible business you could ever build. The trick, all along, was knowing you were never in the train business at all. Now step off the train, because the same logic governs any impractical passion you dream of. The thing you love that loses money is rarely the product people will actually pay for. Sell the scarcity, the time, and the story around it, and the impractical suddenly pays. Find what only you can offer, and let the world line up to pay for the myth. The panels stay bolted on, the wine keeps pouring, and now you know exactly why.